So Intel is the best example when it comes to ingredient marketing case study. What is ingredient marketing for everybody to understand? So ingredient marketing is a marketing strategy where a component or an ingredient of product or service is pulled into the spotlight and given its own identity. So usually whenever you go to buy any particular product, the product has its own market, own brand name. It can be say a Toshiba laptop, or it can be say Maruti Suzuki car, or it can be a Mercedes Benz, or it can be any like mobile phone or a laptop, any particular thing you pick up, it will have its own brand name. That is it. There are no multiple things in that particular thing. So there is no confusion. Ingredient marketing, why it is called ingredient marketing? Because why ingredient is used to make that particular product, and which is one of the key elements, and that is promoted in the spotlight. So these are some of the brands which are into ingredient, which you might not have realized up till now. So Intel is one of the biggest brand when it comes to ingredient marketing strategy. Dolby Digital. So why Dolby Digital? Dolby Digital इसलिए because you buy a Bose speaker or you buy a Panasonic speaker or you go for a movie. The movie theater has they might be using a Bose speaker or any other company speaker, but it has a Dolby Digital. So Dolby Digital is a sticker. Dolby Digital is an ingredient which is lifting up the total brand value of that particular experience. Vibram, then OnStar, Android, Gore-Tex, Sweet, NutraSweet. Lot of things you might be aware, lot of things you might not be aware. Most often, whenever you buy a frying pan, a pan when you buy, if it's a Hawkins or any other such kind of pans, with a Teflon ka sticker रहेगा. So Teflon is that non-stick. Teflon gives the quality of non-stick cookware. So whenever they say na non-stick frying pan hai, the non-stickiness is because of Teflon coating. So that's why the brand name comes over, the ingredient comes over the Teflon. These are some of the successful brands which are into this space, and they are using ingredient marketing as the main strategy. We'll come to our most familiar case of Intel. So how did ingredient marketing help Intel? And Intel was earlier a B2B company, which I spoke last time. B2B is business to business. They were dealing with mostly laptop manufacturers. Their clients were laptop manufacturers, desktop manufacturers, LCD, LED, TV manufacturers, mobile phone manufacturers. Direct consumer was never a part of their communication strategy. So Intel, the company was founded in 1968, went public in 1971, and everyone more than 4 million billion transistors are produced, and more than 500,000 for every human on the planet. Each computer chip comprises of more than 1 million transistors, 7 million transistors. So whole marketing strategy was Intel was build a but Intel built a brand around a commodity. So around in 1997, it controlled the world's market for personal PC microprocessors. But slowly competition started increasing. So although market was more competitive today, also Intel is still the largest chip manufacturer in the world. So around 12 years. So this is around 1991 when computer chips, there was a lot of development in computer chips and lot of competitors also came into the market. AMD, lot of people have would heard about AMD, IBM, Nevada. So these are some of the chips which are also manufactured. They were selling at cheaper rate, and Taiwan was also a major player when it comes to microprocessors, and they were selling at still cheaper rate, this particular microprocessors, and Intel was losing market share to this particular new players. So that's when, and this particular thing happened. So Intel lost its battle for 386 trademark. They began the transition from microprocessor producer to branded products. So there's a very big story that Intel had a trademark for 386 number, and it fought a case against I think it fought a case against AMD, and AMD won the case that 386 was a generic name and not specific to Intel, and any particular microprocessor company can use that particular trademark. That's when Intel realized that unless you have we have our own brand as a part of the larger scope of the commodity, we won't be able to make a difference, and nor we will be able to sustain in this particular market. So in 1991, the Intel Inside brand of ingredient marketing was launched with almost 200 equipment manufacturers and partners with the object of creating a consumer brand. So Intel convinced manufacturers. So imagine convincing SR, convincing your HP, Dell, each and every manufacturer to put Intel inside a sticker on each and every laptop, each and every desktop, or every whatever they bought. So tomorrow, if you saw a ad of Samsung Galaxy mobile phone, at the end of the mobile phone it might say Intel inside, and still that 0.1 second ka branding was given to Intel. So Intel started dealing, and they started giving discounts to all the manufacturers and the dealers and OEM manufacturers who were using this particular, they were partnering with Intel. If you don't partner with Intel, Intel was not giving you discounts. So you have to partner with Intel. Intel will give you marketing discounts. So instead of Intel investing into marketing, Intel used to give discounts to the OEM, the product manufacturer. So they will promote Intel from their end. So the Intel Inside the brand was launched, and Intel went to publishers, media organizers, negotiate volume discounts for everyone. So actually, not just the discount. What happened was, in case if the Lenovo tomorrow wanted to launch a TVC program and wants to launch, say, big print ads, they used to go to Intel and ask for discounts. Intel had a large. Intel used to talk to direct publications and media houses and used to work on large amount of discounts, which they will pass on to Lenovo, Acer, and different such companies who were their partners. Publishers were excited because the program appeared to bring them many new advertisers and help them prove the value of advertising. Computer manufacturers got better rates through the program than they would have bought through rate card price. Intel also substantially reduced total cost of its own advertising while maintaining high exposure for Intel brand. Computer manufacturers began co-branding their computers with Intel. The logo gained wider recognition and consumer perceived it as a benefit program. And this particular thing changed the fortunes for the Intel company. So more than $2 billion, more than $2 billion deal, and thousands of PC makers started partnering with Intel. Since its inception, it has given lot of money, and not even money. What the main thing has happened is Intel again become number one player because of all these things. If Intel hadn't planned this particular strategy, it would have been in the market, but it would have been fighting the same particular battle. So I don't know whether you have read this book called 1025 Immutable Laws of Marketing in Asia by Ulrich. If you people get time, read that book. It talks about each and every law of marketing, and this particular law of marketing, this particular is, I think, the first law. So first law of marketing says that if you are the market leader, then you get a brand recognition, and if you are not a brand leader, or if you are not a category leader, so microprocessor is a category, you need to lead that category. So either you have to be the category leader, or you create your own category and you lead the market. So that's where it is happening. Awareness of the Intel logo amongst European PC manufacturers grew by 24% at the start of Intel Inside campaign in 1990 to 94% 1995. So a lot of, if you see the entire campaign and everywhere, so whether it is on television, if you see an ad of Dell, it will end by Intel Inside. Everywhere it was Intel Inside. So with ingredient branding program, Intel raised awareness for both processors in general and for its own processor brand. So nowadays people are aware कि microprocessor Intel का मेरे को चाहिए. If the microprocessor Intel is there, then I want Intel, and I want 6th generation, I want 5th generation, I want 8th generation or 10th generation, whatever generation it is. Suddenly, consumers and business decision makers alike considered what was on the inside of computer before making a purchase, and Intel provided the only relevant solution. बिकॉज अदर्स में वैसा ऑप्शन था ही नहीं. वेदर निवाडा था या एएमडी था, there was no option because they were not having the sticker printed. And more importantly, they taught customers to look for Intel inside logo and assurance of quality. Intel has been linked to premium brands like IBM. So IBM actually dropped their own pro microprocessor brand in this particular race, and they started having Intel. Compact, they have created lasting impression for Intel and makes everything worth paying for. So the case study demonstrates how a successful ingredient brand campaign can transform a commodity product into a valuable consumer brand with a brand value quantified at 35 billion USD. There are many such brands you will come across. Like for example, whenever you buy a mobile phone, earlier they used to talk about having that Gorilla screen or something of that sort. So a lot of brands used to talk about having that Gorilla screen, Godzilla screen or Gorilla screen. Nowadays I don't hear that thing, but they were talking about the glass won't break or the screen won't break. But that was to some extent it sustained, but in a longer run they were not able to sustain that particular brand. If you buy a LCD television or LCD TV or a laptop, usually the screen is a glass screen, and at the back they have a LED or something of that sort. Or sometimes the glass and LED is mixed. So this Corning usually provides you this kind of glass and everything, but you don't see that kind of advertisement being done. So this is ingredient marketing. I do one more video. Any questions, by the way, on that?
Yes, would Maggie be considered as an ingredient marketing example?
Maggie won't be considered unless that monosulfur, unless MSG thinks they want to rebrand it. You understood what I meant? Unless
No,
the
sir.
tastemaker, okay, which is Ajinomoto, thinks that they need to brand themselves, then that becomes ingredient marketing. So to
Okay,
give
but
you
I
one
still have
more
a doubt, like
example,
because Nestle is the parent company of Maggie, right?
but Maggie is a brand, no?
So anything, okay, got it. Thank
So
you, sir.
it's not about brand. Okay. Let's try one more example to make this simple. Uh, you, a lot of people have LCD or LED TVs or laptops or desktops at home. Screens are by Corning. Most often, if Corning glass is there, then it is sturdy and it won't break. But Corning doesn't promote to that extent. I'll just show you Corning ka video. You can see the screen.
Yes, sir.
Hello. Oh.
Yes, sir.
So this is Corning. This is the same thing. यानी the LCD वाला TV वाला. एक मिनट. So 2011 they made this particular video, thinking कि ऐसा कभी हो जाएगा. But a lot of things have happened in this particular period. So let's look at a release. Now this is an old release which I found out of 2008, but it gives you an overview about how to release and what are the components of a release. So that's the headline. Creative Land Asia's Fresh Pick 2008 winner is a Sophia Girl. Then logo, press release, then the sub headline. Priyanka gets 2-year contract with Creative Land Asia and a sponsored trip to Cannes. You have dateline because it's an announcement. That's why this is a release. It explains what has happened, what was the whole thing about in this first para. So it explained ki what is this concept was first Fresh Pick 2008 by Creative Land Asia. Then it talks about how creative professionals have participated in this particular competition, how many people participated, and who won. And the winner, what made her win this particular campaign. Then it then there was some quote about Priyanka. Then quote by Mr. Raj Kurup, who is still the chairman and creative officer, Creative Land Asia. Then boilerplate about Creative Land Asia. And then for further information, you contact over here. Usually, this is how a press release format is. So whether you go in any language, whether it's a Marathi, Hindi, English, Gujarati, or say Japanese or German, a press release usually come under this particular format. Last time also, yesterday also, I showed you how the formats were. The overall the format is one and the same. Uh, so how do you ensure when you send a press release, there's a good amount of coverage which can happen? So first is understand your target audience. Who is the judges you are going to target for your release? Now, if it's advertising related, release which I showed you of Creative Land Asia, what will happen is we have to target journalists who write on advertising industry, journalists who write on education industry, because the girl who won the award was studying at Sophia College. And another part is it is an ad agency who is running a competition. So these are the two set of journalists which we have to approach. Once we know which set of journalists which we have to approach, then we have to identify, we have to create a list of those journalists. So right from say Times of India, who writes on advertising and education, to say Hindustan Times, Indian Express, Economic Times, Financial Express. This is the main line. And then finance, then there's magazines, there's broadcast media, and there's vernacular medium. Once you go, so you can call the desk of any publication and ask them who writes on this particular content. They will give you the journalist ka name and the journalist ka email id. So that's how you collect all your data. Once you have collected the data about different publications and who is writing what type of content, then you know exactly when to whom you have to send the press release. So then you send the press release. Now this is very important. Malti Iyer, I know personally, that's why I came across this particular thing. A lot of times people used to write Malti in different. So if you have seen Malti written in 5 different variations. So it is very important you understand what is the exact spelling of that particular journalist's name. Otherwise, nobody is happy if you write a spelling mistake about their name. And since you're sending it for the first time, the impression has to be proper impression. Journalists also, there's one more part. Journalists work in a hierarchy, just like other professions. So you need to know who writes the story and who edits it and who decides where and how to put the story. Also, who decides whether to scrap the story. So, for example, if you are able to identify a journalist who writes on advertising, what you also need to do is find out who writes on the education. Then you need to find out who writes feature stories. See, once you send a release, the story might get picked up by a city-based journalist, a city bureau big journalist. So first 5 or 6 news, first or 5 or 6 pages are mostly city-based features. Then it is taken by finance and then features based. So ET Panache and all those sections are feature journalists. Feature journalists might do a story today which might appear after a week's time. It doesn't carry a dateline, but they will do a feature story. They will feature that girl who won the award. Will talk about what things she created and why she won the award. You also need to know that which journalist reports to which particular head, who reports to which copy editor, who reports to the sub editor, who reports to city based editor, because unless you know who reports to whom, so that helps you to know whether they will be carrying this kind of a news. Like if you send this release of Creative Land Asia, this journalist Priyanka won an award, two types of India, they won't carry it. The reason they won't carry it because city-based journalists won't carry this kind of news. City-based journalists will carry normal education-based news. This news will usually be carried since it's an advertising related. You need to tap some brand equity based journalists. A brand equity segment in Economic Times talks on advertising and everything. Over there, this news will get carried. Then you have exchange from media who will carry this kind of news. So one is identifications. Next is understanding who can carry this particular news. Not each and every will carry the news. Any doubts in this particular part? डाउट नहीं पूछेगा ना तो मैं असाइनमेंट
No,
तगड़ा
sir.
देने वाला आज ये याद रखो so we also need to understand journalist problems. What are those problems? Like journalists, they will wake up at around 11 o'clock, they will go to work. Then they directly might go on field in search of story or in search of some meetings. They will from there they will travel by around 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock. They will travel to their office. Then they will start filing and typing out the news. Then they will have a discussion and they will have meetings with the copy editor and different people. By the time they leave office, it will be 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, or more than that. So their entire day goes in this particular thing. And if there's an emergency news, then they have to still rush to some other locations. They might get called at any point in time. Like they might get called at for a 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock also press conference, and they really don't have any option. So they are more, and there are lot many PR professionals calling a single journalist because every PR professional wants to get their client featured because of and this takes you to number of follow-ups and everything. So that's why they are a lot of times irritated, confused, and frustrated. This is why you need to understand when you need to engage with them, how you need to engage with them. So PR fills the gap between the source of a story and a journalist. In that sense, you are the source of the story for a journalist. And once you understand this, it doesn't mean that you are the controller of the story. Journalists can get the story from anywhere, but journalist needs to have a journalist will always need somebody who can help her or him out. So if they want to feature the story about Creative Land Asia, then they can ask you that, okay, can you get me the number of that girl who won the award? Can you get me and arrange my meeting with Raj Kurup? So I want to understand why he is running this competition. And once you provide all this number, so you are helping the journalist to create the story and to draft the story. If you are not helping or if you are not going to become the source, then none of the journalists are going to come to you. Never try controlling a journalist, stopping a story, pushing a story, insisting on coverage. Though I have done this kind of things, but frankly, it doesn't work in everybody's favor. Sometimes you can get through this particular thing if you exactly know where you need to hit off. Like I told you the example about Fruity. Frutica, there was this ad which appeared, and then the journalist filed a story, and then you we had Naina Chauhan calling calling Bhaskar Das and getting the story stopped. Not just that, what we have actually done is we have we there's a person called copy editor, page copy editor. So whenever journalist files a particular news, it goes to the page copy editor, and journalist usually leaves the office at around 8:30 or 9 o'clock. After that, if you go to the press office, say the Times of India building or say DNA or HT, you can go and meet the copy editor. You can call them, you can meet them, and if you're meeting them, they they are the people who are they are the final set of people who will read the story and might also cut the story or might replace some particular things. So, for example, there's a story which you know is a negative story, or there's a story which you think that your client has not got enough considerate space over there. Then you can, if you have relation with this copy editors, you can get that thing line inside that particular area, and journalists won't even know, okay, you have done this kind of thing. So there are many tricks and all, but over the period you learn all those things. It's not that first day you will come to know, and you need to build lot of relationships. PR is more about relationships and understanding how to use a relationship and how to control the supply chain demand. So you know that a journalist needs a story. Then you should be able to tackle that particular thing, saying that okay, I'm giving you this story, but please ensure that you do that story for me. Because there not each and every time your client comes to you with a story which has value. There are some clients which will give you a valuable story, but some clients won't give you a valuable story, and you have to work for both the clients. So give and take needs to be done in proper format. Always expect the impact, the effect, the outcome of the story, and then try to hedge around it. So you need to first you need to know कि whatever you are sharing to the journalist, not everything is not going to get accommodated or not going to get printed as a news. They will change that particular thing. They might change the impact also of the story. They might remove your client name also. So you need to be aware ki what all things they might play, and that's why your client ka role has to be integral part of the story, so they cannot remove it. Every journalist is equally important, whether he is a big name or not. All journalists start small. Today's insignificant hack will be a tomorrow's high-flying media personality, and he will remember the people who treated him or her well in his small days. So I have seen this kind of stuff happening. Journalists, interns, if you respect them like you to respect a normal journalist or a editor, they will always remember you, and when they join some other publication, they will always help you out because you treated them like a normal person when they were just interns. So treat everybody normally, don't treat anybody at par or small. Nothing is as irritating as a young voice saying, I'm calling to see if you got the press release we sent. So what happens is, out of you people, lot of people would be eager to join, say, PR agency. Once you join a PR agency, usually you will join as an intern, and then what happens is your manager and the senior people will say tell you that okay, this is the press release, this is the set of email IDs, send this press release to this all this set of email IDs and follow up with them whether they have received the release and what is the status, whether they are covering or something of that sort. So usually a intern will end up calling, and that same intern will get a blast of all the galis and everything from the journalist, because a journalist gets calls from all the different media. So you need to exactly know what you did to ask to that journalist. If you tell the journalist ki boss, I called to see if you got the press release, they are not interested to answer this call. If you ask them, okay, this is the story, would you be interested to do the story, and then you tell them ki, by the way, I just shared you the press release of that this particular thing, just wanted to know whether you need any particular more information. So you need to tweak your conversation, ask if there is something more apart from press already sent, If two writers from the same publication contact you simultaneously, don't ignore either. Different sections of the publication may tackle a topic from a different perspective. Usually this happens a lot of places. Education beat will call you to cover education related angle story, while a healthcare beat will call you to with a different particular angle. Sometimes at the same publications there will be four people calling you. There will be a person from say feature story person who will be calling you from Bombay Times. There will be Times of India city bit journalist. There's a financial page inside Times of India. Somebody from there will call you, and somebody who is an interning might also call you, and you have to tackle all four people for the same story properly. Timing is all more important. Don't ever hold up a journalist on deadlines. So what does this mean? This means ki a journalist might tell you that okay, I need to speak to your client and I'm running short of time. Can you get your client arranged in say next say 15-20 minutes? What usually a PR person would do, and a lot of PR person have done this kind of things. They will say that okay, I'll talk to my client, I'll get back to you. The client might be ready to talk, but purposely the PR person won't allow this communication to happen, and they will hold up to this particular conversation. Why they hold up to this conversation? Usually they think that okay, if I hold up to this conversation till the end of the time, what will happen is the journalist has no particular option but to carry my client quotes only. If I give the my client ka quotes right now, the journalist might speak to two or three more clients, and she might or he might accommodate their particular thoughts in that or quotes in the story, and my client would lose the opportunity. This is the reason why they hold up to the conversation till the deadline. But if you hold up to the conversation, ऐसा और वैसा कल पता चलने वाला है. So cannot hold up a journalist till the last moment. So keep this. The most reporters are in tearing hurry and hate to do literature research. They don't mind talking to people, but ask them to read up, and they won't be very inclined. So this tells you that whenever you're briefing any particular journalist, you need to be dead sure and you need to be well equipped about what is happening. That's why I was asking you people, do you read any newspaper? Do you read anything at all? Because if you don't read, you journalists won't even let you stand in front of them. So if you are representing a cement industry like ICC Cement is your client, you need to know everything about cement industry, what is happening, how many cement companies are there in there, who is doing what and what is happening. And then once you present your client over there, that's when the journalist will talk to your client. Otherwise, if you say journalist, okay, this is the person, you talk to that person. Journalist is not going to talk to that person because you are the information resource for the journalist. Journalists respect sources of information more than information itself. All journalism involves prioritizing events and presenting them. Not every channel can go into the newspaper or channel. Not every story makes it to the front page, and not every story is the story. So explain what makes your story and the story to do it quickly. So the third point, usually a lot of times it makes sense. Lot of times your client will say, just I was telling you the other day, कि I had a client which is Blue Dart, and Blue Dart ने झुमरी तलैया में parcel भेज दिया. अरे please this can be covered in newspaper. We send a parcel to Beijing. This can be covered in newspaper. Not each and everything can be a story. Huh. But tomorrow, if you sent vaccines from here to say a particular location, that location was really in need of vaccines and nothing was happening, and you were able to courier that vaccine in a record time, that makes news. So it needs to have a human interest angle to that particular story, because that's what people read. So human interest angle is very important in any story, whether it's a courier ka story or whether it's any other story. Last one, a good press release is not one which is printed as it is. A good press release is one that generates good story for the journalist and more exposure for your client. So press release samples. This is one of the press release. So this was my client, Cadila Healthcare, and they had launched this sugar-free gold, and Bipasha Basu was the brand ambassador. So with that regards, this was the presses again, press release title, subtitle, dateline, first para, key benefits of sugar-free gold, quotes from Bipasha Basu about the association and how it is helping Cadila. Then what is the agreement and what all she will be doing? Why this sugar-free gold? Why it is important for today? Why and in today's context? Then boilerplate, and for more information, please contact. So again, some of the work which we had done, and this resulted into stories. So I'm just showing that thing to you. So if you see it's climate, this is related to climate change, which our client was 350.org. So the whole idea was on World Climate Day, Environment Day, World Environment Day, 350.org was doing a chain of events across the world. So right, it was starting from Washington to coming back again to Washington, and 24 city, every city, every minute. So there were 24 hours, and each hour has 60 minutes. So 60 into the 24 hours is those number of cities that events were planned. So each city was doing something or the else. In Bombay also there were multiple events which were organized, and the last culmination of event was around 500 or 800 activists coming at Marine Drive and forming a chain, and creating awareness for this particular thing. And everywhere the event ends with this 350. You see over here human formation at the bottom, play with numbers to save the planet. So human formation of 350 they used to do, and they used to click photograph, and this was shared with the publications. Class snow bar for climate change on Saturday, International Day for Climate Action. This is what is going to, so this is what was happening. So from rag pickers to cobblers, everybody was participating over here. Sorry, 400 join hands. So the whole idea was 350 was, if you read this last line, Devan Digwalkar from Greenpeace. So our climate, if the CO2 level climbed to 450 parts per million, 7 coastlines in India, including Mumbai, will submerge. So our climate, our environment has 350 parts per million of CO2. Right now it has increased due to fossil fuel and everything to 390 parts per million. But according to a lot of climate activists, if it reaches to 450, all our coastlines will go underwater. So that's why they were doing this particular action. So climate campaign highlights adverse impact of climate change and everything. So we distributed press release, but what was happening is a lot of journalists were also coming over there and talking over there to a lot of people and activists about their thoughts. Any doubts? No doubts. ठीक है. Now this was what PR का था. Now we'll shift from digital PR to this particular social media and how it benefits businesses. Just a second. Hi. So just write down. I am giving you one assignment, which you have to do it till next week Monday and submit it. Okay, just upload it over there and I'll check it. It's a creative writing assignment. So I hope everybody is writing.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so imagine an adventure of a piece of popcorn that falls out of the container at a cinema refreshment stand and is desperate to get back into the box. The moviegoer heads to her seat with the rest of the popcorn. What happens next?
So you're going too fast.
Hmm?
You have to write this down, right?
Huh.
Sir,
You're going a little
uh,
fast, sir.
sir, can you post this in the chat box?
Yeah, sir. Yeah.
Just a second. Okay. And is desperate to get back and reduce the vehicles seat the rest. Got it?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
right? 300, 250 to 300 level max. SBM. Submit me till. So you can upload it over here, right? In the assignment section. Huh?
So I think
Yes,
you
only
need
if
to
you
create
post it
an
as an
assignment.
assignment.
What?
You
You'll
need
have
to
to post
create
it as
an
an assignment.
assignment.
Okay, ठीक है. So I have to post it in the assignment section, right?
Yes.
Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
ठीक है. But you write it down. I'll post it over there. Then you can reply on that. Okay?
Sir, I had a doubt regarding the assignment.
Uh,
Um, it can include like a dialogue thing or something of that sort.
it can include anything.
Okay.
This is a creative writing exercise.
Okay, sir.
So whatever you think can happen. I want to see that how much creative you can get with your thoughts. So there's no research to be done over here. You just need to go out with your thoughts about what is that a popcorn के साथ क्या हो रहा है. कुछ भी हो सकता है popcorn के साथ. Right now we'll start how social media can benefit your business. Social media social media helps to increase brand awareness. It increases website traffic. engage. It helps you to engage with the audience. It helps to generate leads, helps in customer service and support, and awareness amongst in the industry. So, and there are more things like it's an important component of your business strategy. You can use it as a sales tool. You have multimedia opportunities, reach more through less, helps you to drive traffic to other online sites, increase search engine optimization, helps you to gather feedback, to build true relationships with key audiences, target key audiences. On an average, a person is exposed to around 300 advertising messages a day. So you know ki how it is very important to break from that particular clutter. And for that particular purpose, you will see that lot of people will come with lot of different thought processes, and a lot of people will come with very creative stuff, because breaking of the clutter is very important. Otherwise, everything is one and the same. Only 14% people trust advertisements. Are you aware of this? This is why
No, sir.
PR ka demand is very high, because PR is considered as a third party endorsement. So no matter how much you spend in advertising, okay, if I ask anybody today, if you had read newspaper, which are the 5 ads you saw in the newspaper? Nobody can recollect. But if I ask somebody that, okay, what are the 5 different news pieces which you read in the today, everybody can recollect. Why? Because it has that particular impact.
So, sir, would you say that it's better to invest in like more money in PR strategy than an ad?
As I told you yesterday, it all depends upon what your brand is. Okay, whenever there's a new brand, based on my experience, whenever we approach a new brand, it's not always uh, this advisable to go for advertising, because what happens is, see, advertising as it is non-credible, which we know. Then on top of that, you create advertisement of those things like आज का पेपर में advertisement था ना, I'll just tell you. Today Economic Times at the front page ad, GR Infra Projects Limited. I never heard this company's name in my life. I'm hearing for the first time. And full page ad about their IPO and everything. Now, why should I think about this company? I never heard about this company. But on the other hand, if this company had done a lot of PR activity, say for last 1 or 2 years, then what happens is, I have heard about this particular company some of the other places. This company I would have heard about. They would have, if they had done say airport, then I would have read about it in that news. Then there's some CNS CSR initiative. I would have read about them helping in Corona and everything. So when I've read all these things and then they show an ad, then I know, okay, yeah, ये कंपनी किधर तो देखा था और इन लोग ने किया था, अभी इन लोग का they have launched a IPO. But there's a connect which is happening. Lot of companies don't think in that fashion. If you see all the top brands, and they all think in that fashion. Apple never advertised. They are advertising nowadays. I don't remember when Apple first Apple phone was launched. They were advertised that particular phone. Google also never advertised. अब भी advertise चालू है. To use Google Maps and use that Google Translate and Google's voice search and everything. But Google never advertised. They entirely dependent on user generated reviews. They're dependent on third party endorsement and news clips and everything. And once the brand was established and everybody is aware about the brand, then you start doing communication of those elements which people are not aware. So people are aware about 50% because of your PR activities. What people are not aware, use advertising to communicate to them. The belief factor is much more. I hope that answers your question.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
So as you know, 78% trust the recommendation of other consumers. Whether you know that consumer, you don't know that consumer, but you will trust that recommendation. How many people go and check Amazon recommendations before buying a product? Everybody knows Amazon का recommendation and that review section is there, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
lot
Yes,
of
sir.
times you
Yes.
might be checking कि okay ये product के बारे में क्या बोल रहे हैं. Now if I tell you that all those recommendations were created by bots, then what happens? Amazon literally created 90% of the recommendation using bots, and there's a court case against them now. So because this is the 78% people trust recommendation by the consumers, forget whether they are friends or not a friend. And this was the main logic behind Amazon fueling their bots to create more and more recommendations for different products. And once that started spiking up, people started using those recommendations to buy that product without knowing whether that person bought the product or didn't buy the product. So
So
research,
nowadays people put pictures with recommendations or reviews.
yeah, I know. Even I was
So
surprised
that
when
is
I read
most.
that particular news. But there is a case against Amazon for creating fake testimonials and a huge amount of fake testimonials. It's not say 10 or 15, something around say thousands and lakhs of testimonials were created in that fashion. So people post images and everything, but tell me what is that you are going to do with recommendations fueling from bots and everything. But digital media plays a role. That's why I remember the once I bought this. My last office was at Ghatkopar. So our city there was this Cavender's milkshake wala guy, and if you buy Cavender's over there, any particular milkshake, that guy used to give you 10% discount if you check in via Google, check in to their store and give review about how the milkshake was. 10% discount. But what was happening is that guy was not marketing the anything, but that guy was fueling recommendations and recommendations. And more recommendations was helping that guy to get more amount of business. Strategic decision, but helpful decision. So social media conversations are powered by blogs, they are powered by microblogs, messenger platforms, social networks, social bookmarks, discussion boards, podcasts, video sharing sites, photo sharing sites, virtual world, wikis, and every whatever is digital is fueling the discussions and conversations. So
Sir,
primary tool,
what is microblogs?
yeah, this Twitter is referred as a microblogging platform.
Okay.
Short characters, you know, Twitter,
Yes.
Tumblr. Tumblr, have you heard? Huh?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Heard not Tumblr? And I thought
Yes.
Tumblr nobody has heard. Chalo, at least people have heard Tumblr. So these are mostly considered as microblogging platform because the character limit is small. These are small content pieces which you post over there. That's why they are referred as microblogging. Facebook, premier social network where users upload photos, make fan groups, have discussions. Twitter, microblogging. YouTube is for video. LinkedIn is professional networking. Blogs, informal means for generating unique content. So traditional media, by comparison, if you see America to the largest circulated in America is US today with daily circulated 2.1 million. So even if daily circulation is equated to the paper reaching to 2.1 billion people each day, Facebook population is much bigger than that. So compared to US today, Facebook is 3 to 4 times bigger than that. Then you have that AARP bulletin in US has around 24.5 million people. Now that's the number of people which dig it attracts per month. Fox channel has 90 highest rated cable news for 90 months with a total average viewing time of 1.3 billion viewers per hour. So LinkedIn is much more than that. So if you compare your traditional media to online, there's way a huge amount of difference. You cannot compare at all. There's no comparison between both the things. So marketers using social media time commitment for social media, weekly hours. So social media use just getting started, been doing for this few months. So marketers who are doing social media, they has how many are doing and how much amount of time they are spending on weekly basis. So why people are doing this particular, why they are spending time on social media, what is the ROI? So generate exposure for business, increase traffic, increase subscriber rate.
So what is ROI?
Return on investment. Understood or should I explain return on investment क्या है?
So can you just brief
So
a bit?
Sir, can you brief?
yeah. So ROI is, for example, you have say 1,000 rupees right now and you want to invest in advertising on Facebook. Okay, you spend 1,000 rupees to advertise on Facebook. For that 1,000 rupees, you have a call to action which takes people to a buying page and where a mobile phone of Samsung foldable Galaxy phone is kept and the phone is costing 1 lakh rupees, for example. And using 1,000 rupees, almost 100 people went over there, but one person bought that phone. So 1,000 rupees you spent and 1 lakh rupees ka phone you sold. So ROI would be ROI, you will say that okay, ROI ये campaign के ऊपर मेरे को ROI था. What is the percentage of ROI is what you need to calculate based on phone के ऊपर net profit कितना था. Phone के ऊपर net profit था 10,000 rupees for example. Then 10,000 divided by 1,000, you're left with 9,000 rupees as a net profit, which is ROI on your campaign. Understood? I'll explain again. Should I?
It's I didn't understand.
Yes, sir, same.
You can see my screen now.
Yeah, sir.
Sir,
Yes.
You can see my screen.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
sir.
हाँ. So 1,000 rupees is Facebook campaign का cost. You are spending 1,000 rupees for Facebook का marketing campaign. Okay. 1,000 rupees say you are able to send 1,000 rupees say you are able to sell a phone of 1 lakh rupees. You are able to sell a phone of 1 lakh rupees. Understood this?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So if I remove 1,000 from 1 lakh, how many is remaining? 99,000. Agree?
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
1 lakh minus 1,000. ये आपका ROI रहा in that campaign. Return on investment. Understood? In a simple language. There are different formulas and calculations to do, but in a simple terminology, this is what is referred as ROI in any marketing campaign. Any doubts on this?
no, sir, got it.
So that is ROI, result in new business partnership, help to rise in search ranking, generate qualified leads, reduce overall marketing expenses, help me to close business. Now, how your social media helps you to reduce overall marketing expenses? It helps you if you are present on search engine and you optimize your website for search engine. What happens is over the period of time of say 2 years or 3 years, your website is optimized to such an extent that you don't need to invest any money to optimize your website and it will keep on coming on top rankings of your searches. So your expenses for marketing will get reduced. That's why it is written key the digital and social media over the period helps you to optimize your marketing and reduce the marketing costs. So what are other things it is? So social media and digital marketing helps you. So it helps you to continue visit your goals plan because social media moves fast. Always remember to take conversations offline. Remember, social media is about dialogue. You have to be consistent. You have to be committed towards the project. You have to be transparent. And you need to understand and know your level of participation. So always take it slowly, baby steps, and then go on a fast pace. Don't just think about I want to become a blogger. आज से मैं blog करने चालू करूँगी करूँगा. There 10 blogs I will keep on posting. You will go for a writer's block. Plan your process ki how you want to go ahead. Plan ki 365 days mein you, if you want to have 365 blogs, then 1 month mein you need to have at least 30 blogs. What are the topics of the 30 blogs? Are those blogs people reading for? Do people want to go to those particular content and read the content? Once you have analyzed and got the content and sorted, you make the content calendar, start creating content and then posting. That works instead of just rapidly creating content and posting content. Don't be scared if you don't try it, because nothing is going to happen if you don't try. And at the max, what happens, you might fail, but when you're taking baby steps, those baby steps fail, nobody's going to look at you. And though during that particular period, you do your learning spot. Be sponge, keep listening, learning and participating. Thank you. So we'll look at some social media marketing case studies. Can you see my screen now or no?
Yes, sir. No, not now. Yeah.
So, has anybody heard this song? Why this collaborated by
Yes,
Dhanush?
sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
तुम लोग कितना छोटा था तभी? ये स्कूल में था या कॉलेज में था?
Sir,
School is
school.
school, I guess.
स्कूल में
हाँ.
School.
So it
School.
became one of the most successful campaigns, and this was one of the viral marketing का काफी successful campaigns. Strategically done by Sony Music, and Dhanush production was, I think, ये रजनीकांत का daughter's production house was there. Movie, nobody still remembers the movie to that extent, but this Tamil song was played across all the Hindi music channels and radio and everywhere, and everybody thought it is viral, but there was a push which had happened. So 3 is a 2012 Indian Tamil romantic psycho thriller, and Aishwarya R. Dhanush, who made her director debut. It stars Dhanush himself co-produced the film alongside with Shruti Hassan. Now, why this collaborated? This song 3 released on 30 March, mixed reviews, but it's not successful. It was not a big success movie as it is. But this particular song now to fatte reviews hai, but that time when I made this present, it had more than 410 million views on YouTube. Song was shared by more than 2 lakh crore people. Speciality of this particular song was it didn't just go off to that extent by just people going and viewing the song, because no, each time you go to view that song there will be an ad which is running over there. So that's how Sony Music is earning money. So the whenever you download this song as your caller tune via Airtel, by the way, Airtel is India's biggest music company, if not everybody is aware, because Airtel is selling more songs than anybody else in India, and especially the caller tunes, they are selling more than anything else. So if you buy a caller tune, you pay money as royalty also over there. So so that's how they start. So that's how the song was earning and Sony Music was earning. Height of this was Madhavan, Trisha, Shreya Ghosal, or say Amitabh Bachchan. All these people were sharing it on Twitter or sharing or giving or singing this song. सोनी निगम का लड़का भी सॉन्ग्स सिंग कर रहा है एंड वो भी ट्रेंड हो रहे हैं. All these things was possible with a strategic approach. It's not that it went viral. Okay, if you have seen koi beggar, if you see a beggar के कटोरे में you will see at least 10-15 coins. you won't see an empty katora, because empty katora mein nobody throws money. The katora needs to have some particular money, so people see that money and they throw the money. वो money beggar ही डालता है. Similarly, when you have to do a viral, go for viral campaign and everything, the first initial push you have to invest for that push. It might cost you 5 lakhs or 10 lakhs of that project, but ultimately the benefit is huge and multifold. So the whole idea was कि इन लोग अचानक बोल देते हैं सोनी म्यूजिक कि this particular song was leaked from Sony Music Studios का recording studio. If you see the song, it doesn't look like a leaked song, but they created this particular thing that it was a leaked song. So everybody wanted to see a leaked song है क्या चीज जिसके अंदर धनुष गा रहा है. Then slowly what they did was they started showing this particular thing and they started creating memes of this particular thing. T-shirt se leke, then you had this Angry Birds ka why this Kola Varidi, then you had this memes of Chanakya chant everywhere going across. So this meme started flooding the social media channels. When this meme started flooding and this song started being shared, what actually happened is more and more people wanted to see the song, and then people started sharing the song. अरे तूने देखा ये song? It's like solid song. It's like solid song है. So everybody started sharing this particular song. Once that particular phase got activated, then they activated another phase. They had this flash mobs at different locations. Churchgate Station had a flash mob. Singapore had a flash mob. Then you had this small kids small kids ka animation done for flash mob, and this flash mob further fueled people to want to hear a song kya hai yaar, everybody is dancing on this song. So this flash mob further fueled the uniqueness. So you keep on creating more and more uniqueness, and every time each step should be a bigger step than the earlier step. So more and more people are aware, and people want to see ho kya raha hai, ho kya raha hai, chill kya raha hai. So initially the video was leaked, the catchy tune tha, so a lot of people wanted to sing that song, but and it became a viral. It helped 3 movie a lot and Sony Music a lot. So virality helps. Now I'm showing you a case study where virality impacts closure of a company or a service center. So this particular case study is of Skoda, and this effect is referred to as Streisand effect. So what is Streisand effect? Streisand effect is an internet phenomenon where an attempt to censor or remove a piece of information backfires, causing information to be widely publicized. Understood? Usually there is particular information online or somewhere, and somebody or the editor of the editor or somebody else tries to stop that information, or sarkar apni will try to stop some particular information on Twitter or on Facebook, and then everybody will start selling screenshot of that what the government is trying to block. So it's a publicized phenomenon. Barbara Streisand is an old singer. I don't know anybody has heard about her name. Based on that, this particular effect got its name. So the whole story about this Skoda was Harish Kanchan had been fighting with Skoda for almost a year, and he had bought his car from Nimmerina's showroom at Juhu Tara Road. He went for servicing, and those guys replaced his parts, around a 4 lakh parts, with duplicate parts. When Harish tried to follow with Skoda service center and Skoda management and everybody, nobody helped him. Everybody said that everybody said ki, you are incorrect. What has been done is correct. He went all the way to Pune where Skoda has their factory. He showed to the factory people. The factory people told ki these are duplicate parts. So he told these were fitted by a Skoda service center, but they told ki we cannot help you because you need to go to the showroom and get them to change these parts. Showroom was not ready to listen to his story. He wrote a letter to the managing director and to a lot of people in Skoda, but nobody responded. He even went to embassy and filed a case. Still no response. Finally this guy got fed up about nothing happening, and he went and he drafted an entire. He was part of Team BHP. Anybody has heard about Team BHP over here?
No, sir.
Oh, okay. So nobody is a car lover, I guess, utna level ka. Anyways, it's okay. So Team BHP is an Indian portal where you'll find most of the people who are very into about cars. They will be talking about upcoming cars and the new discounts and lot of things over there. So if you are a car lover and everything, you can be a part of that particular portal. This 2008, the portal had around 40,000 registered users, and they were discussing about different things in a thread over there. It's a simple discussion forum actually, Team BHP. You'll find a lot of cars ke piche se stickers of Team BHP. So those are the people who are advocates of Team BHP. This guy writes a letter to about their entire problem, whatever happened, and the photos and everything, and he posts this particular thing on Team BHP. This is the Team BHP का website. अभी भी ऐसा ही है, सादा ही दिखेगा, ऐसा कुछ तोफ नहीं है. And there's a forum of all the discussions and everything. So that time website had 40,000 users, and he writes, Kapil is the moderator and the owner of Team BHP. So I'm fighting a case for last 1 year, and Nimurin is replaced purchased parts of my car in tune of 4 lakhs. They have stolen the third injection and the steering the rack and substituted with fake ones. They did not spare the battery either. So I took up the matter with all the customer care and all the different people of Volkswagen and everything, Skoda, Czech Republic, but nobody was ready to listen to him. And यही नहीं है, he posted all the facts कि कैसा था क्या सब था. So all the facts and all the photos were posted literally. उसका कार का फोटो, ये ओरिजिनल है, ये डुप्लीकेट, ये ओरिजिनल है, ये डुप्लीकेट है. So now the post has been done. Everybody started talking over there, and everybody started talking ki what Skoda did was not right, and everything started happening. Somehow Skoda came to know that this is what is happening, and Skoda's corporate communication person wrote a letter to Team BHP Kapil and told him if you don't take down this particular post, we'll file a case against you in the court. And the letter was sent none other by the legal team of Skoda. What Kapil did was, Kapil did a simple thing. Kapil clicked a photo of that entire documents, 2-3 page ka documents, and he uploaded as a reply to this particular post and told friends Skoda is trying to close down Team BHP and they are going to sue us. Let's help our friend Harish to get justice. What actually happened was 40,000 people went ahead and copied the entire content and created their own blogs, created and posted on their Facebook, and got the call to action was this particular post. So people wrote about this on their Facebook, on Orkut, on MySpace, on every damn shit social media platform, whichever they can get, and the call to action was this place. So now imagine 40,000 people doing this, and this was during the period of June, July. You print publications like Mumbai Mirror, Midday, Times of India, Maharashtra Times, Navbharat Times, all this started carrying the story of how Skoda has created problem for its users and is not ready to listen to user, and the user had to the customer had to go to online portal. The what actually result was Nimberin has lost its dealership of Skoda. Sales started declining. Since this was the month of July and August when a lot of people book their vehicles for Dasera delivery and for Diwali delivery and for Ganpati delivery, all the bookings got paused. People were literally talking about 50 साल के बाद अंग्रेज छोड़ने के बाद अब ये दूसरे अंग्रेज आ गए ऐसा ट्रीट करने के लिए. That was kind of sentences was been used across the social networks. Everybody got sacked from the managing director of Skoda till the marketing team, the customer support team, the corporate communication team. Everybody sacked. Even the PR agency was sacked. By the way, I was working in the PR agency, so I was not in the team, but our PR agency was also removed from Skoda Iska, from Skoda, and they hired the entire new team. So sometimes going viral has its negative impact. Any questions till here?
So not regarding the situation, but I have a different question if I may ask.
बोल ना, tell.
So Twitter is the first place where the newses are broken down these days. So if something like negative rep goes viral on Twitter, how does a PR team handle it?
Interesting. I'll be coming to this in the last deck, but anyways, I'll answer you right now. So what happens is most of the corporate and most of the big companies, they have listening teams. This is called social media listening. So therefore, social media listening, you use software like Radian 6. Radian 6 is a software which costs you per yearly around 15 to 20 lakhs. Then you have Hootsuite, cheaper versions. You have Talwalker, a cheaper version. Then you have bigger versions like Sky Ink, something of that sort. That's 1.5 crore ka Oracle ka aata hai. So all these things, what they do is you feed in your brand keywords, you feed in your competitor keywords, you feed in all those keywords, and based on that, they scan across all the social networks, all the blogs, all the online forums, all everything except for LinkedIn and Facebook to some extent, and 2 3 say 99% they can scan across all the social media channels. So not just social media, publications and everything like daily hunt से लेके सब कुछ scan कर सकते हैं. And they report to you in a repository like this keyword and this is the pura Excel के ऊपर they report to you. So if you find over there कि there is some negative thing which is happening, you can directly report to the corporate communication team that we see some particular negativity happening on tweets coming from location of Meerut, and these tweets are coming like there is a hashtag which in Meerut has been used, and lot of people are talking over there in Hindi language these particular tweets, and around 500 tweets have been detected in last 1 hour. So then you start focusing over there. Okay, क्या चल रहा है? What is the thing happening? And then you start addressing. Then the software, just not that, but the software has lot of capabilities. You can ask the software to separate the list of all the users who are tweeting about it and separate list of users only retweeting about it, because there are people who will tweet and there are people who retweet. Now out of 500 you are able to find only 10 people who are tweeting, rest all people are just retweeting. That means there's only one thing, you need to address to those 10 people. Once those 10 people are addressed, retweeting wala to band ho jayega. So that's how you come to and resolve the particular problem. So there are different ways you can resolve the problem, but it only happens if you're listening. Newspaper to print hoke aa jata hai and you don't have time. See, with social media, you really don't have time to wait to such a huge amount of time कि ये कभी आएगा तभी मैं करूँगा and then I'll change. Yeah, similarly, we had a client, yeah, Idea was our client for listening. And that ad आया था ना उल्लू ना बनाविंग, वो मंत्री के सामने वो बोलता है ना मंत्री was,
Yes, sir.
हाँ मंत्री was speaking over there कि हम आपके लिए ये करेंगे वो करेंगे. तो this guy holds his mobile phone and says कि 4 साल पहले भी आपने यही बोला था उल्लू ना बनाविंग करके. Over there, what happened was the first TVC which was done, there was some particular misconception or something of that sort, and the misconception went to such a level कि it went to Omar Abdullah level. So Omar Abdullah is the second head of National Conference and is a Baramulla ka MP and a big player when it comes to Kashmiri politics. So his followers and everybody started talking negatively कि हम लोग ने तो सब किया था, क्योंकि the person who they used over there as a politician speaking, he resembled to a large extent like Omar Abdullah. Then they changed the TV से फटक से, but वो पहला TV से में the resemblance was to a large extent Omar Abdullah, and उसमें वो जो 2 3 चीज जो बताया ना वो भी Omar Abdullah के स्टाइल का था. They didn't pick any particular MP. The advertising agency didn't pick up anybody in Indian continent क्योंकि प्रॉब्लम हो सकता है. They thought कि किसी को बाहर वाले को लेते हैं, like Kashmir and everything, प्रॉब्लम नहीं होएगा. But still the problem happened over there, and lot of tweets and everything started happening. We were sitting in the command center and we saw that around 1 o'clock-ish, around 1,000 tweets were there. Suddenly by 4 o'clock, this figure went to 30,000 tweets and different pieces of content and other places, Facebook and everything. So by 3 o'clock, we had informed the Idea team that this is what is happening and this is what people are responding. So first thing the idea did is they gave instruction to the advertising agency to pull down the TVC wherever it was getting aired for the time being. So you show any particular ad, but don't show that politician will ad. So that one thing they did. Second thing is they created a media briefing documentation. If media is going to call them, so what is that they need to answer? By around evening 6 o'clock, as usual, media ने फटक से कॉल करने चालू किया to the PR agency and directly to the corporate communication team of Idea, asking them that this is what is happening, what is that your view and everything. They knew that Idea wouldn't be aware of this. Idea would have been aware just some time back, and it will be a good corporate scoop for the journalist to write a story that Idea has no comments to talk on this particular ad. But they were taken aback when they got all the answers to all their questions. Once they got all the questions answers, there was no story as such, because Idea told ki this is a fiction element. We write at the start of the TVC, we never said that this is an original thing. We said it's a fiction thing. So why somebody is considering himself to be that person? It was a story. It's not a reality. And that's how the conversation was controlled and crisis was averted. Otherwise, crisis would have gone to any particular level. Nobody knows. So listening is most important thing. You can do listening using hashtags, but there are other ways and other softwares you use for listening. Now, this particular thing is also an interesting particular example. Aircel. Uh, I hope everybody is aware. Aircel करके एक था telecom company in Bombay long time back. It's not there. To some extent, Chennai में you will find Aircel, but otherwise Aircel अभी North India में अभी है क्या नहीं, that also I don't know. But what I loved about this particular campaign was how they launched their Bombay operations. Keep one thing in mind. Whenever any particular telecom player wants to launch a Bombay operation, the minimum budget which they require for advertising and for promotion and for everything is not less than 50 CR to 60 CR. Because you need to buy all the hoardings. You need to make awareness on hoardings, brand ambassador. Then you need to share information via newspaper ads. Lot of things you need to do over there. Then you need to have ground level events at all the shopping malls. So अगर ये सब करना पड़ेगा तो 50 CR तो किधर भी चला जाएगा. What Aircel did is Aircel का जो ad agency thought about something interesting. You will also know what is that interesting thing. It's not something new. It is what we all know. Okay, one of the most common things. Milan Subway. Everybody knows where is Milan Subway in Santa Cruz, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes,
And
sir.
जब भी बारिश गिरता है तो क्या होता है उधर? पूरा भर जाता है मिलन सबवे. हाँ. ये everybody knew कि ये होता है. It's not something कि it's a rare occasion कि मेरे को पता नहीं है. What they did was they had a hoarding over there near Milan Subway with in case of emergency cut the rope. Okay. आज नहीं तो कल जून महीना है, जून जुलाई है. आज नहीं तो कल बारिश होने वाला है. Everybody knows. Okay. And Milan Subway is going to get flooded. That also everybody knows. As everybody knew, it started raining, flooding started happening, Milan Subway blocked. So people had to go from this location to that location, people had to come from that location to this location. So as history repeats itself, what happened was literally there were 2-3 people from Aircel who went on the hoarding, they cut the rope and got the boat down. And then started, and they were given this t-shirt of Aircel and they started transporting people from east to west and west to east via this particular boat. Whoever was stuck in between and everything, they started helping people. In the meantime, the PR agency said that was a time of SMSs, not of WhatsApp. WhatsApp was not there during that time. So the PR agency sent SMS to all the media publication photographers telling them कि Aircel did what BMC didn't do. So BMC should have got a boat over there in case of emergency, but they didn't do it. Aircel has got a boat, and this is how they are saving people. This is a very good photo opportunity. मीडिया तो ऐसे फोटो अपॉर्चुनिटी ढूंढते रहता है कि कभी मिलेगा फोटोग्राफी करने के लिए. So media started clicking photographs of all this entire news and everything. and how Aircel was helping people to go from this place to that other location. What actually resulted from this particular activity was front page news. So, Abhi, as you know, Times of India will never use a brand ka name in their content. Okay, so that's why they're rating volunteers use a raft to ferry commuters through flooded Milan subway Santa Cruz. Because if you want to get your name over there, you need to pay to Times of India. That's how Times of India works. But rest of the places everywhere, Aircel ka naam aa gaya. Monsoon dhamaka, Mumbai interrupted, monsoon keeps government on the edge. So everywhere, photo opportunity by Aircel ka that particular that T-shirt and the branding that got started reflecting, and that information was there. Aircel received a hero's welcome in India, in Bombay. It was one of the best press conferences. What would have happened if they would have done press conference? The CEO and all those people will come into, say, at Taj. They will have a party. They will announce this to media and kharcha karke nikal jayega. So again, waste of money. What these people did was, what they did is this particular, they helped Bombay during that particular period with that kitna 1 lakh ka hoarding tha ya 50,000 ka that boat tha, nothing more. But if you use strategically, it helps you a lot. So that's what Aircel did. They use this particular thing strategically to help people, and if they, when they help people, the news got carried everywhere prominently. Aircel was mentioned, and everyone came to know that Aircel now have launched operations in Bombay. Even the Google search ke upar everywhere it was like billboard se leke billboard dinghy makes splash in sympathizing, then springs, so everywhere it was mentioned about Aircel. So that's how it is. What happens is, if you have the right strategy in place, then everything works towards what you want to achieve. If you don't have right strategy, then you just end up spending money, nothing else. I'll just show you some couple of videos. These are some interesting guerrilla marketing campaigns. So what is guerrilla marketing is this.
Burger King presents Whopper Face. Burger King sandwiches are made to order your way. But how can we prove this? ask for a Whopper your way? You get your freshly made sandwich with your face on it. Your Whopper, your face. Whopper face. Burger King, have it your way.
These are mostly guerrilla marketing techniques. So strategically, guerrilla marketing is where you don't invest much amount of money, but at less amount you do something strategic.
Even in one of the most exciting cities in the world, banks are still just banks. But the world's local bank, HSBC, doesn't behave like your average bank. As a brand, we embrace unique perspectives, seeking individual points of view as a positive force for change. Which got us thinking. With over 16,000 people passing us by every day, and with some of the most compelling retail locations in New York, why not start a conversation? So every day from 9 to 5, HSBC staged a live theater event in the bank's windows on Fifth Avenue. For 3 weeks, curious and typically opinionated New Yorkers stopped to observe the spectacle and express their point of view by sending a text message, which was immediately displayed on monitors in the staged spaces. Our event revolved around 3 subjects. Firstly, a live beauty pageant. All the glamour, all the drama, a new Miss Fifth Avenue crowned every 5 minutes. Tears, kisses, marriage proposals. Adjacent to our beauty queen, a rowdy bunch of football fanatics go crazy in their living room to the big game on TV. Painted faces, beating chests, macho sweaty devotion, and pizza delivered on the hour. Next up, the infinitely misunderstood abstract artist splashes and bashes through the latest masterpiece. But is it art, or is it rubbish? What's your point of view? Then the world joined in by way of a live feed through an HSBC website, yourpointofview.com, gathering and compiling the opinions of different people in 144 countries. Meanwhile, back on the streets of Manhattan,
What's your point of view on beauty pageants?
I think it's cool. I think there's so many beautiful women out there. They should be acknowledged for their beauty and what they do.
It's superficial.
It's better than the guy being stuck in a water tank all day.
Frankly, I'm a little cynical on that.
Are you to bank?
Radical.
A little ridiculous, a little old-fashioned.
Fabulous.
Beautiful.
I think they'd be a lot more fun bank than mine.
I just called the people upstairs, telling them to come on down.
What's more, on a media budget that cost absolutely nothing, approximately 248,000 New Yorkers experienced our event as passers-by. We handed out 4,000 informative postcards. Hundreds of people stopped to text in their point of view, and people from all over the world joined in the fun online. Over 735,000 New Yorkers read coverage about us in the New York Daily News. And new account openings at the Fifth Avenue branch more than doubled. In 3 weeks, we challenged the way that people typically thought about banks, making HSBC a New York destination.
So this was done at Raffles Square building, Singapore. It was by a company which was into HR. So it was into human resourcing, and they wanted to bring out this particular thought कि working late is injurious to health. So this is what they did. You saw this guy? So they strategically, yani, these two guys didn't know, but they downloaded the video. They got this particular the Photoshop and animation done, and then re-uploaded and then shared it across. And then they told ki that's why working late is injurious to health. So they were able to get this point out. So this is our again interesting thing. So there's this static papers. So static papers के ऊपर this medical this insurance company. So the insurance company says that okay, कि we repair your damages as easily as you remove the sticker. And then they got the sticker everywhere and they filmed the people. So literally everybody started using and people started spreading this also. It was interesting, like you thought ki there's some scratch over there, somebody has stuck something. But it is a particular ad. This is called again example of guerrilla marketing. This is also nice. This is my absolute favorite. not the last one. It's not playing.
So
Hmm.
I don't know if you saw this, but recently IKEA, I don't remember where it was, but I saw on LinkedIn that it did this thing that if you showed the amount of kilometers that you drove from your home on the Google Maps to the IKEA place that you went to, because usually IKEAs are on the outskirts of town and people come
Yeah,
from.
IKEA is at that after Kalwa, that towards Vashi side. When you go,
Yes.
you will find
Yes.
IKEA early.
Yeah. So they had this campaign that if you came and you showed how many kilometers you traveled, you would get that many like that number off on the things that you buy. They did this
Yeah,
campaign
but
for
is
this.
it still there?
I
Interesting.
don't I don't think it was in India, but I think it was somewhere outside. But it was a recent campaign because people were stepping out of their houses during pandemic and all. So they did this thing so that they encourage, and it increased the footfall a lot.
Because 2 weeks back when I was traveling from Vashi side over here, I saw a couple of cars, but not much. Like it was not crowded at all. So I guess they haven't opened it fully, IKEA. But IKEA, if you just do a search, you will find IKEA doing lot of such innovative campaigns. So IKEA is known to. So there are a couple of brands like Red Bull. There's this Burger King. Then there's IKEA. They will always do this things which is of guerrilla marketing. Why guerrilla marketing? Is guerrilla marketing more focuses towards thinking something innovatively. You have to think really innovatively to come up with a campaign, and it is usually on a peanut budget. People
But
don't
sir,
have
to
money, then they
compensate
go.
for that, Red Bull also invests heavily on sports teams and sports
हाँ,
franchises, and especially
yeah,
in
yeah.
competitions as well.
But Red Bull का वो thought was अभी I'll show you one more thing. Just a second. हाँ. This is where my friend is working right now. I'll just show you that. So he works with TVS Group, TVS Tires Group. So this is what they do.
ये रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी वाला मोड है. लेट्स मेंटेन सोशल डिस्टेंसिंग. ये रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी वाला मोड है.
Lockdown restrictions may have eased, but your safety measures shouldn't.
So all these things encompasses the idea about guerrilla marketing. So always if you have the right idea and right creative, then कम पैसे में भी सब हो जाएगा. Otherwise